What's up, guys? This is Brendan, aka Drip, back with another deck profile. In today's deck profile, we got an updated Galaxy Eyes deck profile. I know I'm a few weeks behind on this profile. Let me move the camera a little bit. Since King's Court came out, it's like 2 weeks behind, I think, week 2, I don't know. Either way, I'm a few weeks behind. I know normally I like to have it out earlier than this. Whenever we get any kind of new support, new tech card that we could possibly use or that I think we could use, I like to get the profiles out around then. This one, I've been messing with the ratios. I don't know what it is. Myself personally, whenever like a new card that could possibly fit in Galaxy Eyes, I don't know if it's just the way the deck's consistency works, but myself personally, trying to slide in 1 card or 2 cards is really difficult because when you take out 1 to 2 cards, it can mess with the consistency. Definitely when the consistency of this deck comes from spells and monsters instead of just one specific thing, if that makes sense. So that's why it took me a little bit longer to get this deck profile out. You know me anyways. If you are a subscriber to the channel and you've been around here for a while, you know I just don't throw profiles out whenever just to be the first one to do so. I like to mess with the deck, play with the deck, mess with ratios, and find what I consider to be the best list. As of right now, this is, in my opinion, the best list. I've been messing with it for a while. Took it to locals, did really well with it. Granted, we didn't really have that big of a locals that night, but your boy didn't drop a game. And I've been playing online with it, and pretty much been tearing up the online with it. It's really consistent. It can break boards. The new card is really good. Just so you know, I'm not running the new trap card. The Cypher one or the Galaxy one or whatever it is, the pretty much Soul Charge or whatever. I'm not running that. I don't like it. Sorry if it hurts your feelings. Nothing's going to change my mind. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this video. Get into deck profile. By the way, your boy finally got it after freaking like and the sleeves after like waiting 4 months. It was terrible of a wait, and that's just the nicest way to put anything of my experience with that. But if you guys want a full review on that, just let me know in the comments or in the Discord, and I can give you a full review on that, and my personal opinion and honest opinion. But moving on, to start off with the deck profile, you got obviously, Galaxy Eyes deck, Blue Eyes deck, Cyber Dragon deck, Thunder Dragon deck. You got 3 of the main guy. It's just how it is. So, 3 Photon Dragon. My boy over at Team King of Games, bro, he told me that the best way, which I agree, he says in his profiles a lot, 1 in hand, 1 in deck, 1 in grave. So that's the way to do it. But most of y'all watching this probably Galaxy Eyes people anyway, so I don't need to say that. Moving on. Best starter in the deck, my personal opinion, is Soldier. Soldier is Soldier. Searches anything Galaxy monster related. Then we got 2 Afterglow. You don't need more. You don't need less. You run less, and you're going to miss the sec one, I promise. You run more, then you're just going to see it too much in brick. So 2 is perfect. I've never found myself needing more than 2 of this card. Same with this card here. You need 2 of this. I've tried dropping this at 1 in previous lists, and the sec one really does come up. 2 is perfect. 3 is too many. Again, same ratio. For the most part, most of my 2-ofs are good at 2 for a reason. They are not good at 3, and some of them can potentially be good at 1, but these 2 monsters, as in Afterglow and Night, are not good at 1. Do not run them at 1. And then we got 2 Brave. Brave is the one that I was talking about that will be good at 2 or 1. I like him at 2 because I run more Photon names in this build than I do in previous builds. Previously, in other builds, you see me drop him down to 1. Depending on the format, depending on the build, and what other tech cards / hand traps I'm running, depends on what ratio he's going to be at. For the most part, when it comes to Brave himself, myself personally, if I'm running 2 of him, that pretty much means I'm running Thrasher. Thrasher with my builds, it comes in and out of the format depending on the situation. So if I'm running 2 Brave, that means I'm running Thrasher. Another one that's kind of the same situation is 2 Wizard. A lot of people like forget about how good this card is. This card is ridiculous. This card is nuts. This card has won me games in its own right. He's the 2nd best normal summon outside of Knight, of course. Yeah, but this card is nuts. It searches your spells and traps, because it's what a lot of people like fail to realize is Galaxy Eyes themselves don't really have any card that really searches their spell cards. It's where we miss with our consistency. So Wizard can do that for us. He pretty much searches anything we need that has Galaxy in the name. Most of our spells, for the most part, are Galaxy spells. So he gets us what we want. And then the last Galaxy card is the best card, I think, in the deck. Pot of Avarice on legs. You're not running this card, then have fun not winning the grind game. One of the best ways that Galaxy thrives is by winning the grind game. Outgrinding their opponents. Which I love doing because it's just fun to do. Be like, yeah, my deck can grind. What can yours do? Losing the grind. Okay, that's what I thought. Alright. Moving on to Photons. Pretty standard. 3 orbital. I hate doing this, but I actually did it. I dropped it down to 2. I think it was actually at 2 on my last list. I really want this card at 3, which I'll talk more about that later in the video. But right now, 2 is working. It's meh. Sometimes I really wish I had this card in my hand. This is the best Photon, in my opinion, outside of Orbital, of course. But Vanisher is really good. But yeah, Vanisher's really good. I want him in hand almost at all costs because he refills the hand on top of giving you board presence, unlike all the other cards, which is what I really like. And like I said earlier, I am running Thrasher. You do not need more than 1 of this card. Why? I'll tell you why. Because 1, it's dead after turn 1. 2, you have a Rhoda to search it if necessary. And 3, this card plus Brave in hand with like a Sanctuary or something is dead. It's just dead because you can't do nothing with it. You mainly want to see this card in hand with Vanisher and other starters. Do not you run 2 Thrasher, you're just asking the brick, but that's just me. And this card I took out, but I actually missed it, so I put it back. Advancer's just a great extender. He helps you play through hand traps, and I'm glad I put him back in. That's it for the Photon lineup, like for the little Photons, I guess you could say. Nothing I would change. For the most part, there's only one minor thing in this entire list that I would change, which I'll talk more about that when we get there. And it's not even the fact I would change. It's the only thing that I would even consider changing in the long run, just to see how it played. And literally the only hand traps I'm playing in this deck, 3 Veiler. Why Veiler? Because it's a light. If you're running non-light hand traps in the 40 card to 42 card list in Galaxy Eyes, you're just asking the brick on hand traps. And it's not even the fact you have to run a high count. It's just the fact if you're running Ash, you're running Droll, which my last list I was running Droll, but you only saw me running 2, which was perfectly fine because if you run 2, then most of the time you're going to see more lights than you do Droll anyways. So it works out. But you really don't want to do that. And like Droll's not even, and right now, like Droll is just, I don't know. In this format, yes, you can argue Drytron, but Drytron is adapted to Droll, so it's whatever. But no, 3 Veiler. You could argue Lancia if you wanted to, but literally, this is all I've needed. Not only that, you can use multiple if you draw multiple. Like there are certain situations where I drew multiple of this and like a Sanctuary and something, and just hand trapped my opponent to death. And that was pretty much it. So, and it worked, and then bought me a turn and got me turn 2. And you know how Galaxy Eyes does, baby. We get a turn 2, it's a wrap. So that's it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells, where everything gets juicy. We got 3 Sanctuary. Sorry, the light got dim. I'll turn the light on. There you go. Let there be light on this subject. But anyways, we got 3 Sanctuary. It's up there with frickin' Soldier as being the best starter. And this is where the Vanisher ratios come into play. This next card, obviously, I'm going to show is if I ran it at 1, I would run 3 Vanisher. If I run this at 2, I'd run 2 Vanisher. It's not the fact that the cards counter-react each other or nothing like that. It's just they're the only ones I would even consider messing with. I would not consider cutting Advancer because Advancer is another name, which I know a lot of y'all probably won't comment. But outside of that, there's nothing I would change on this list between those 2 back and forth. So, and that's Hyper Galaxy. I was running this at 1, and then I was running Thrasher at 3. But there's certain situations where you want to see this card. Why? I'll tell you why. But this card is so situational. It's probably one of the most situational cards in your entire deck. Why? I'll tell you why. Because 1, you have to control a monster with 2,000 or more attack. Which, to a degree, in this deck, that's not that hard to do. That's pretty easy. But the second situation that actually came up in a duel with before is the fact that it can't be Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon that you tribute for yourself. That actually comes up quite a bit, at least for me. And then the third situation is the fact your opponent has to control a card that's 2,000 or more attack. And there's a lot of potent decks going around right now that actually don't have that. But the reason why I kept this at 2 is for mid to late game. It will help me break my opponent's board mid to late game. 2, if I draw a full combo and draw one of these, I'm Gucci, because I can just remake my entire board after I do the search with number 90. And 2, this indirectly is like a Galaxy Expedition on your opponent's turn. Why? Because you're getting a free level 8 by breaking their board on their turn. So it pretty much is an extra copy of Expedition, but an interruption version. And speaking of Expedition, running 2. Please, for the love of God, if you're running a 40 to 42 card list, do not run this card at 3. There's even situations where I drop this down to 2. Even in the siding, when I'm siding, I'm taking one of these out. Why? Because it's good when it's good, but boy, is it bad when it's bad. Like, I don't know. I only usually ever want to see this is if I'm getting hand trapped to death, or I want to special summon a soldier mid game to be able to search resources, myself personally. But yeah, it's perfect at 2. And I'd even consider dropping it to 1. If we get more stuff later in the future that we can use extenders and stuff for big dudes, then yeah, your boy will probably drop it down to 1. Just personal preference. You don't have to agree with me. If that's fine, that's fine. You do you. I'm just showing you what works for me and what it's been really consistent for me. Next is Droplet. I will never play this deck without Droplet. Why? Because it negates your opponent's cards while getting a Photon Dragon engraved. That is busted. That's what you can use it for, is to get Photon Dragon engraved while negating your opponent's stuff, and they can't respond to it if they have a monster. Granted, yes, you can even do some cheesy plays with this and Hyper Galaxy because it's a quick play spell. You can just send the Hyper Galaxy. Yes, that's cheeky, but I want this for sending Photon Dragon. But yeah, I'll never play this deck without it. Yes, and what sucks is these are not even mine cards, they're Jeremy's. But I'll keep using them until he says he needs them back. Ain't that right, Jeremy? Yeah, buddy, I know you're watching this video. But anyways, yeah, 2 Droplet. And then 2 draw cards. Trade in. Don't need 3. You're just asking to draw trade in. I'll trade in. I've done it plenty of times. Now onto the power 1-ofs. My OTK card, Galaxy Trance. Sorry, Hyper Galaxy. Galaxy Trance. Still running the Galaxy Zero. If you haven't seen my last video, I am running Galaxy Zero because it helps me extend. No, I will not run the stupid Renaud combo bullshit. That is stupid. I will not run it. And now I'm not running zero because of that. Obviously, you didn't see Renaud in here. I think that's really dumb. And then I'm running Rhoda, obviously, for your second Thrasher, your third Vanisher, your second Advancer, yada, yada, yada. And then the last power one of is Talents. A lot of y'all are probably going to be like, why are you running Talents at 1? It's probably no point, no good at 1. Yeah, it is. It's good. It's really good. I see it when I want it almost every time, literally. And when you see it, it's pretty much it's a rich man's Called by the Grave. If you can't afford Talents, then use Called by the Grave. But Talents is busted. I've stolen people's Dragoons and killed them with their own Dragoons with that card. But then again, if you're looking at my list, anyways, you none of it's really not like my power spells are not budget regardless. As in droplets. You could run for no ruler, but you don't get as much utility off of that. Onto the extra deck. The extra deck is perfect. Not a single card I would change, and not a single card do I think differently from this extra deck you should run any different. You might run a different cards in the main deck, that's fine, but I think this extra deck is perfect. It's well-rounded, and it's standard at this point in time. 2 Soul Flare. Soul Flare is Bay. Ashima is that Bay that gets you out of tight situations. She's amazing. Use her secondary effect a lot whenever you like put number 90 under her. You use number 90's effect and you can pop back her. That's really nice. Speaking of number 90, we got 2 number 90. Best card in the extra deck, pretty much. And then we got my favorite card in the extra deck just because I love the art. That's the reason why I love full armor. And now we got the Cypher package. Cypher Blade, Cypher Dragon himself, and the card that made Cypher Dragon valuable again, Cypher X. That's my Cypher package. Before X Dragon, like Cypher Dragon was meh because it targeted, and you could only attack with a Cypher card, and it had 3,000 attack. And they got their card back at the end of the turn. Well, since X come out, you steal their card and use their card as overlay into X. So it's really nutty in that regard. And then this card is the most underrated card I think in the entire extra deck, and that's Blast. This card has won me games against Striker. Striker don't know what to do with themselves. Since a lot of people don't read Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Blast puts in a lot of work when you get him in the early game. So most underrated card in the extra deck. I don't think you need to run Star-Lord or whatever it is. Thinking of I'm mad at myself for not thinking of the name. Sorry, it's been a long day at work. I'm recording this after work, so the other rank 4, you don't need it. It's nah. Then we got Mr. OTK, so we're gonna go into the always OTK. He's in this deck. He's the pretty much the better version of number 100 in other rank 8 decks, because this guy, I've got him up to like almost 30,000 attack. It's disgusting. But yeah. Then we got the Nova and Infinity. We're still running the Cyber Dragon package. Let me scoot these guys up. Sorry. Still running the Cyber Dragon package. I think it's versatile in that format. Not in that format, but it's versatile in that sort of sense, where you need it. You need another negate. Sometimes Soul Flare is just not for the certain matchups when to pop because they could play through it. So you would rather sit on the double negate and a steal. That's fine. And then we got Hope Harbinger. And then the best card in the entire extra deck besides number 90 is Arsenal Zeus. If you are not running Zeus in your build, you're missing out. But Drip, it sends your own cards away. Well, if you've been watching my profiles on Galaxy Eyes, you'll see that I found a way to constantly loop your cards with Zeus. No one else, I have not seen no one else do it. That's why I'm taking the credit for it. What you do is you go and search Cleric, and then you use Zeus, send everything away. Use Cleric, send everything back, draw 2, remake your same board. You go into Soul Flare, add your Cleric back, and rinse and repeat. You can get him up to like 4 materials, so you can use him twice. And it does not hurt you at all. You just send your entire opponent's board away, you reestablish yours. You have card advantage and hand advantage. Card advantage, hand advantage, and field advantage, plus you have another board wipe you could possibly have. Even if you only get to resolve this once, you're fine. By that point, you're going to win because you're going to reestablish your board and potentially push for game by attacking. But that's it for the main and extra. 40 main, 15 extra. I'll go ahead and show y'all the side deck real quick. I know a lot of y'all who are not used to being in the channel, you're going to be like, well, Drip, why are you not running Tachyon Transmigration? Calm your panties, bro. Calm them. It's right here. It's inside. Why is it inside? Because it's a trap card and it doesn't do nothing for you when you lose the die roll. It sets you up to where you have to wait 2 turns pretty much to use this card. By that time, your opponent will be so far ahead in card advantage and field advantage that they're probably going to OTK you anyways. So let's say you lose the die roll and you have this card in hand. Your opponent goes semi-combo to full combo. You got to go combo. You have this card in hand. You have to set it. Then you pass turn to them. You're already 2 turns behind. So this card is only really truly good is if you're going first, my personal opinion. Yeah, you could run 1 and run 2 in the side, and at that point you're still not utilizing cards that you could use for extenders or defensive cards that doesn't require as much setup. So it's perfect in my opinion in the side, and unless Konami comes out with a way for me to search this and activate it from hand without having Tachyon on 107 on the field, then it's going to stay in the side and be sided in when I know I'm going first. This is just my local side deck, by the way. 3 Lancia, 3 Twin, 2 Evenly, because I hate back row. This is all back row hate. I can't stand back row. Whenever I'm playing against the back row deck, I don't want them to play at all. I don't want them to get the chance to activate a card at all because it's my opinion, just unfair because they could just set cards and just wait to do something and wait for me to do something to activate a card, and they, quote, play on my turn, quote, resource management makes me good. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So whenever I can't stand back row, so yeah. And then even more considered back row hate, and that's Pank. So yeah. That's it for my my side deck. But yeah, side deck is up to your choice. Obviously, if I was going to an event, I would do it differently. So I just want to show y'all the side because some of y'all will be like, "What's some side deck options, side deck text?" You can go by what mine is, or if you want, join the Discord if you're not already there, and I can help you with some side deck text for like a well-rounded side deck for the format that we're currently in. I'm probably not going to like profile this deck again until post Dawn of Majesty because there's some spicy text in there that is going to be really good in this deck, and I'm not going to spoil nothing about it because I want y'all to see it. But yeah, that's probably the next time I want to redo that list. But again, if you have any questions at all, just feel free to message me in the Discord or post in the Discord. If you're not already a member of the Discord, then go join. What you doing? What you doing with yourself? But again, guys, that's my list. I'm sticking to it. Nothing I would change. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If yours is a little bit differently and you're having some consistency issues, just give mine a try. See what you like. See what you think. I really like it. I put a lot of time into it. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Please drop a like on this video. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Become part of the DDD fam. And if you would like to become closer to the DDD fam, the Discord, PayPal, and everything in the link description below. Just drop in and say hi. We will all say hi. We will all welcome you because we are all a tight little family there. Bunch of chill people, laid back, no judging. That's the kind of environment I like to have in my Discord, just friendly and family oriented. So, but Again, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, night, morning, evening, whenever you're watching this video. I hope you all are staying safe out there and having a wonderful time. It's the summertime. But again, you guys have a good one and drip out. Peace. Good dueling, guys.